I call the meeting to order.
Do we want to amend our usual agenda to have Joe talk about what he's here to talk about?
Yes.
All
You
right.
want a motion from me?
Yeah, Chris moved that. I'll second it.
Joe, would you like to talk to us about the grant?
I will. Thank you for hearing me today. So I know the library has I guess there's a wall in the basement, and this is I have cursory knowledge of this, but there's a wall in the basement that could use some repair.
It's
Outside.
actually yes, it is, it's the outside wall over here where the bay is, and I believe it's the outside, not the inside.
Not the interior. Okay, so there's some structural problems that need repair.
Yes.
Okay, and I would like to volunteer, as the town manager, I'd like to volunteer my time to help the library write that grant and get those funds to repair the building. And I say this, and I do this because I know it's expensive, and I think this is a very worthy project that I think a lot of funders want to fund. It's a Carnegie Library, so it seems obvious that this would receive some money. Mostly, I don't want to see the Fairhaven taxpayers burdened by this. This is my real impetus for this. Taxes are already high enough. So I would like to help to keep taxes. And if this one doesn't work out, I'd like to volunteer to do another grant as well, because BCDP has them.
Where are you going to apply?
It's not Paul, is it the Paul Broom? The one that just came out. The one that was just released.
Yeah, the one that
We-
you sent
We just
An
got
email?
denied in
June.
July.
The newest one.
And the
There's-
newest one has come out,
There's a new one that just popped up.
so we'd be able to apply for like $100,000.
No, that one's for 20,000.
Well, this-
That's your funds.
Yeah, the historic preservation that I just got was, the max is $20,000. And I can't remember if it's the Preservation Trust of Vermont or Vermont Historic Preservation. But that one's max is 20,000. Bruin, we could have asked, well, we in fact did ask for that kind of money, and the reason they denied us is they really think we need to have an engineer come in to see if it's, what the root cause of the structure problems are.
Yeah, on the side.
On that side, because,
Well, they wanted us to have some kind of plan for water runoff, because there was nothing in our application that we said anything about for mitigation.
and could it be as simple as making sure the gutters are cleared so that it's not,
Well, the only gutters that we have are in that one corner
yeah.
and on this side over here too, for the new section. I don't think we have any gutters on the old building at all.
But something was done, and it's before my time, so I don't know what it was. But something was done to grade the lawn so that the water would drain away. Am I
Right.
correct?
Yes. But then we have the parking lot,
Right.
because we don't own much land.
I still believe that it's sloped away from the building. So I don't know what exactly they're looking for, if they're looking for like a, and now I can't even think of the system it would be.
Your front drain system.
Some type of, like you would have on the inside of the building where you have a sump pump, something similar to that. I don't know if they want that, or, I mean, the only other thing would be to raise the building up.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
No.
So if the board would like, I would like to apply to that one. And then there's the VCDP grant, which is coming up in the fall. I'd also like to apply to that as well, so that way, with this grant at 20, and I think the
Yeah, that's
the
the, that's
library has
the,
match.
right, that's that's his,
BCDP grant
yeah.
should be able to fill in the gap.
And we already have received a grant from them for, it was for matching funds for the $500.
Right.
And that's what paid for us to have
An estimate.
an estimate done. And in his estimate, he didn't say anything about mitigating any circumstances or the need of an engineer. It
No.
was simple masonry repair.
Should, it says here in the response.
Right.
If you are interested, PTV would be happy to work with you to have a civil engineer examine the building and determine a potential drainage scope of work which would complement the masonry repairs. Do we want to explore that with them?
Yeah, because I have that.
If they want to give us a free estimate, sure.
Free's always welcome.
Well, I'm just wondering.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
I'm
if-
more than happy to contact them and say, yes, is there a cost? And if, you know, because if it's, and then if there is a cost, what percentage of that cost would be from the Preservation Trust?
Right.
Or the
Yeah.
Brune,
yeah.
the Brune folks.
But also the building is 120 years old.
Right.
And we've never really had any real trouble with the drainage.
They did something with the,
Yeah, the
Sea
basement was
leaks,
pretty,
Dan.
it leaked. And,
it's a stone foundation, that's why.
yeah,
We've also called to have the gutters checked, and they don't come.
yeah.
I called many times, and there's no
And,
follow-up.
I mean, Carol's husband used to, you know, Carl used to get up on the ladder and clean out the gutters. And no one's done that in over a year because we call and nobody comes.
No, they say they're gonna come, and they don't come, and I don't know anybody else to call. I don't know who does gutters.
So maybe we just come one day and take a look outside too.
And maybe we can get in touch with, was it Premier Roofing? I think they may do gutters also, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Jack Helm's son.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake.
Yeah, I think he does gutters too, I'm not sure. I know they do seamless roofs. And, well, if they have the gutter machine, I don't know.
So if you want to think about it, let me know.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm around.
I think- I don't
I don't think we even really need to vote on this, but all those in favor of
Aye.
letting Joe, go ahead and take initiative on those two grants, say aye.
Aye. Here,
Any opposed?
Seal and Chris.
Moved.
So you kind of give you a call maybe tomorrow or the next day to talk about.
Sure.
What you, okay. that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
I sent you this, because this is the letter that, from the Brune funding. I know they're very selective. I was talking to Sam Lucci, who's, you know, his,
Did he get one?
no, they did not.
Oh, their guy is very, very good too.
And-
He's a high winner.
And what were they looking for?
I don't know, but they were denied as well, so.
But look at how much money they were asked for and how much money they had. I mean, I thought it was positive that they were even interested in our project.
And I've noticed that sometimes when you come back a second year, it seems like you apply and you get denied and you come back the second year and they think about it twice. It seems to be,
Well, we'll keep asking until somebody says yes. So, but in the meantime, we don't want any further damage.
Right, we don't want any further damage to the building.
Do you
And-
need a motion from me to contact the Preservation Fund about getting help?
No, I think what we can do is probably just ask them and see what cost is involved, because anytime there's a cost, obviously, because it's not in our budget, we have to have a vote on it.
Right.
But we're losing summer. You know, once the snow flies, people don't come out to
look.
look.
If we can't get somebody here by November, then they're not gonna come out until after spring.
Yep.
And I did try and contact one of the bricklayers again. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. Trowel and something. What's his name? Hawk and Trowel was one, and Mike Aramo,
Mike was the one I tried contacting.
and he's done the Carnegie Library.
They both have.
Okay.
From what I read, both of them have, but one I did get in touch with, I talked to him on the phone, I'll have to call him again. And then the other guy, I did talk with him on the phone, this was back in beginning of June, I think, or into
Right.
May when I
Yeah,
contacted him.
way before you went to Italy.
Yeah, and he said that he was gonna be starting a job in the Middlebury area and that he would drop down here just to take a look one of the days. I don't think he ever did, so I contacted him again through, because it was through text that last time I talked with him.
Yeah.
And just to see if he responds. If not, I'll give him a call again, and I'll give the other guy a call again too.
The other thing is that the Fletcher Free Library in Burlington is also a Carnegie Library built within a 4-year span of ours. They just spent millions of dollars
Yep.
to do repairs. And Carol said to me last week, she said, do you think it'd be a good idea for me to contact the librarian up there and find out how they got their funding and exactly what they did? And I said, sounds like a great idea to me. So I would imagine, she said she was going to use the library email. So I'd imagine you might get a response from that librarian, which would be interesting.
I'll let you know if I do.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe not, but,
Yeah.
they did extensive work, but one thing they did was repoint the outside, because CAX did a little blurb on it. They
Right.
replaced all the windows, and they did some work inside the building. But, you know, it was a 5-second blurb on CAX, so we didn't get the whole thing, but.
Yes, we're not.
Do you need
we're
anything
hoping
else
to
from
know.
us?
No, sir, I appreciate you letting me help. I
Oh.
really, I love this, maybe as much as you, but I do love the library. I think
Yeah.
it's extraordinary we have a Carnegie Library in our town.
It-
So
it
I
is.
would love to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We
Thank
would
you.
love to have you help. Thank you very
We would.
much.
We'll talk to you later.
We appreciate
All right.
it.
Joe. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from our last meeting?
I move that we accept the minutes from the June 4th meeting.
I'll second that.
Can I have a copy of the minutes?
I put one on your, I put one by you.
I think I got one. I
Where is
got
it up
a,
there?
this is my pile of stuff. I got a
You
collection.
can have, yeah, you can have this copy. But yeah, I did put 2 over there. It'll be in a pile of something.
I'll see you later. Sorry, thank you.
Chris and Paul.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? The ayes have it. Treasurer's report.
Okay, you've got a June and a July. Let's start with June's. There isn't any real big thing. It says that we had $5,900 left. No, that isn't right. There is some money left, but we basically spent, well, I'll wait till we get, the June is self-sufficient. I don't think there's anything we need to talk about.
And any
in June.
money, if it was left over, will be encumbered.
And I will tell you exactly how much was encumbered in the July one. Do you want to accept the June one first and then accept the July one?
I move we accept the treasurer's report of June 30, 2025.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Ayes have it.
So then we go to July, and if you look on the back, under encumbered funds, we had all that got encumbered for 24-25 was $1,158. So we got a lot closer on our spending, but remember, Carol bought
New computers?
the new computers. We had quite a few repairs. If you look in June, now I'm bouncing back to June, there were a number of things where we overspent, there were a number of things where we underspent. So it all washed out, but we had some expenses that we hadn't expected. So we have got 26,291 in the encumbered funds. Just kind of put that in the back of your head. And then you'll see what we've got in the CDs. The $31,000 CD, and I may be going into new business now, and I shouldn't go there, but I'm gonna go there. That CD came due in July, and I asked them at M&T to put it into a savings account so that we could discuss whether you wanted me to encumber it for a year in a CD, because I didn't know if we were gonna need it next summer for these repairs. So that's something we have to think about. The other two CDs, the 27,000 and the 4,500, I believe are coming due in the winter. And again, you'll have to help me figure out whether you want them rolled over or left liquid. Because, I mean, maybe by winter we'll know whether we got any of these grants.
Right, and then we would, so if we did a 6-month CD,
Okay, and I asked them to tell me what the CD rates were.
hopefully we can get at least 4%.
No, we can't.
Wishful thinking.
I know.
It's not that one. Okay, 6 months is 3.9, the APR is 3.24. I always get confused what the difference between those two numbers are. 12 months is 3.43 with the APR 349. So the 12 months is better than the 6 months. That isn't always the case.
Right. But I hate to tie it up for 12
Whole
months.
year and
Till
not be
next
able to
July.
use it if we need it.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so I will tell him to do 6 months.
So, all in favor of that?
Yeah, I will move that Chris puts the $31,954.22 money market in this 6-month CD.
And do you have any thoughts on what you want me to do next winter when these come due? Because if they come, I can't remember what month they
I
come
do.
due.
Well, it's a waiting game now
Yeah.
to see what the interest rates are, and should we get,
So we'll just wait.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll know,
And in the meantime, you can double check to see when they come due.
right.
So I move that Chris puts that CD in question, and what did you say, 3.9%?
3.19.
3.19%?
The APR is 3.24.
Yeah, so with the for 6 months, I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Any
And,
abstaining? Ayes have it.
and the interesting thing was when I did the July report, both of my columns exactly matched hers. I was off $148, but that's that internet fund that we take out of the bank and put back in.
Right.
So anyway, we'll see how many months I can do that. All right, and we need a motion to accept the July one.
I'll move that we accept the July report.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And while I'm thinking of it, we have an update on the background check, and, I mean, that would be at a different time during probably old business.
You guys have it.
Yep. Jenny?
I put the report together and I separated out June and July. I did that, I think, from my own reporting at the end. I hope it's easy for you guys to understand. If there's anything you want me to show you differently or to tell you more about, let me know. So, circulation, June, oh, I didn't total up July. Look at me not doing my math. Let me tell you what that was. I didn't total July. 8, 3, 6, 7, 8. 838 for July. June had 812 total borrows. The other thing that I made a mistake on, if you look on the interlibrary loans, I think for July, I forgot to add in the book club books, so that should be probably 14 books received for patrons rather than 4. Mary Kay sent out overdue notices. She sent out 8 letters, 3 of which were second notices, 2 were bills, for a total of 14 books. She sent them July 15th. She received 25 of the 29 books that were noticed the last round, so she had a pretty good return on the notices. I'm trying to think, one patron lost a book, and that was this past week, so that should be on the next report. New acquisitions, June we got 64 new books. 1 was a gift, 4 audiobooks, 5 DVDs. Do you need me to read those out to you?
No, I don't think it's.
Okay. July.
Just the total would be fine.
Okay. In July, we received 47 purchase books, 2 gifts. Some of the books that I purchased were on back order. I'm still kind of understanding how that all went. They were on pre-order and now they're on back order. So there's 10 books still out that I purchased in July, or I ordered in July. Weeded books, June, there was quite a big weeding. I guess it was from the nonfiction room. So 269 books were weeded in June and only 50 in July. These were all what Carol was working on before she left. I have not weeded any myself yet. We've had 6 new library cards issued in June and 10 in July.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty good. I feel like they've been asking a lot. So hopefully that trend will continue. Internet use, the Wi-Fi again is kind of a guess, because sometimes you don't know if people are using it or not. It's a guess. And sometimes with the public access, people don't always sign the sign-in sheet, so that also is a little bit of a guess. Those are all the signatures that I had. Genealogy searches, I don't think that Danny did any just by herself for either of the months. And then volunteer hours, 124 for June and 110 and a half for July. And petty cash, you'll notice there's a little bit of a discrepancy between the ending balance in June and the beginning balance in July. I think that's a recorder error of the change there.
It's less than $1, right?
Yeah, it's not much. I can explain those, read those out if you want to. I did mail out 3 different books to different libraries. I think it was 3 in July. We did 2 in June. So then the bullet points are any questions about the petty cash? Okay. The bullet points at the bottom, I tried to follow what Carol had done before for you, so hopefully I hit the highlights. I do have a couple questions that I didn't add at the end for things. So the genealogy club only met in June. They had 5 people. They didn't meet in July because it was a conflict with the UVM 4-H program, and so she chose to cancel the club. The Friends of the Library only had 1 book sale. They held it in June and they made $92. They just scheduled their next one for September. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. Book club met both in June and July. We had 8 members for The Real Americans and 14 for the All Who Believed, a memoir of life in the 12 Tribes by Tamara Matthew, not sure how to pronounce her name, but she's from Benson. Well, her husband is. And then we'll meet again this Monday for Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. All but 2 of the books went out, so I don't know necessarily how many people will come back in for that one. I borrowed 10 books for that. Take and Makes have been a hit. They've been all taken. They're all gone. The July one was gone 2 weeks ago. So that one was a hit. The kids enjoyed that. Summer programs went well. I listed what we did kind of from the beginning of the summer. Carol had a retirement party. I don't know if you call that a summer program or not, but it had 60 people come. We got some balloons from it. And I think Carol really, really enjoyed her time. I know she wrote some hand notes back to people. The rock painting on June 24th was really fun. And the rock is still in the reading room. So you can look at the
Snake rock.
Yeah, the snake rock. You can look at the rocks that the kids and the adults painted. A lot of kids have brought their parents through the library to go see it. Story hours throughout the summer was, I think, pretty well attended. Our first one had the least amount of kids there, 9 kids and 5 adults. The rec did not come that first session. They weren't in attendance. The rec hadn't started yet. But Miss Hart did a great job. The kids enjoyed it. Mr. Danielle had the largest attendance with 23 kids and 13 adults. Had some really cool art projects. I've tried to hang some of the things in the by the reception, the checkout desk, so that people can see what the kids are doing. The 4-H programs were free. The July 11th one was much more attended than the July 29th one. I know in signing up, many of the families were gone last week, so they just weren't around to come. But it was really fun. The first program was a little warm, and we went outside, and the presenters had not done the program in the heat before, so the balloon rockets were not shooting off when they first set them off, and so we had to move to the shade, and we did some really cool science discovery with them. But I think it also made some of the parents and the kids a little hot, and some people left before everybody's rocket had gone off. And then Mary Kay helped with the second program on the 29th. There was just 2 kids, 2 presenters, 2 parents, and they got one-on-one robotics adventure, and I was really jealous that we missed that one. Vince came on the 28th, almost 30 people in attendance, and Mary Kay also reported that it was really exciting. She really liked the presenter. I unfortunately missed that one. We were in
It went well.
Michigan.
I just stopped down
Yeah.
to see they love live animals.
Yeah, I was sad we missed it. The carpets were cleaned over 4th of July weekend. They came down here, did these, they did the ones upstairs. Carol and Carl, I put Scott, well, their last name, Carol and Carl, moved everything out of the way. And then Danny and her husband put everything back.
Annie and Hugh.
The conference room down here has been in high demand. People have really been wanting a space that they can use as a substitute office. And then we had some students who were visiting who needed some space to complete some courses. So they sat down here where they could talk with their professor and not be disturbing people upstairs. So we've had, I think, 8-ish people down here. I put the next meeting in because that's what Carol had in there. So September 3rd is the next board meeting. I had 2 people do research in the Vermont room. One gentleman used to live here. His mom used to live here, and he wanted to come just see some information, but there was 2 people in total. The park passes have been very busy. 13 have been checked out during the summer in total, and people are asking for them. We did have a patron lose one of the state park passes, so I had to repurchase it. She did pay for her lost pass. And then, I don't know if you want me to report on the credit card, or if you want to do it. I put it in there. Chris got a credit card for the library. She has one and I have one, and I've started using it for purchases. I've used it on Amazon. I bought a couple different books, and then I also used it to purchase the Vermont State Park Pass, I had to have a credit card to replace the one that was lost, so I was glad we had it. And I did want to ask you guys about this to get everybody's unanimous go ahead or not. Amazon has their Prime account, which is $129 a year, and you're free shipping, and there's a couple other different benefits for it. I've used it for the free month, but it expires tomorrow, so if I needed to cancel it, I need to do it tonight. I do not know if they have a minimum limit for purchases for free shipping or not.
It's $35, but
$35.
it depends too on what you buy. Not everything qualifies,
Yeah.
but it is $35.
And it might be different from a business than it is
Yeah, it
personal.
could be.
So, I would be inclined to keep it just because I can buy like one book at a time, or I can buy smaller bits and pieces rather than having to make one large chunk purchase, but that's just how I function. But if that's not what you guys would want to spend, I mean, I don't know what postage is, 150, that kind of takes up the whole postage budget for the year, so I don't
And see, we haven't had
to worry about it before, because I
No.
think Carol had Prime and she just used her own.
Right.
So,
And I would, my first thought is that $129 is a far cry from what your shipping is gonna cost.
meaning you think
For
that
the
shipping
year,
will be
yes.
more or less?
I think your shipping would be a lot more than $129.
It could be $15, you know.
Because I know that what
That-
Carol has instructed me to do with the purchasing of books is most of the time paperback books are cheaper through Amazon rather than through any of the suppliers. So if any book that is paperback, you could get it through Amazon. And I know there are also through Amazon some books that you just can't get anywhere else. I had a supplier tell me that yesterday. I was like, some people were looking for some older books, and she said to me, well, sometimes the only place to get them is Amazon. So, I don't know.
I will move that we authorize Prime membership.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And maybe you can kind of keep an eye on it and see what the, because it'll give you an idea of what you're saving, and you can see whether it's
If I revisit it next,
a year from now,
or when do you guys do the budget? When do you think about the budget?
Well,
in the
we,
fall.
yeah,
Also coming up?
so in the next month and a half,
Okay.
which is hard because you're actually
2 years.
2 years, basically 2 years.
Any other discussion on that?
It just seems like $129 isn't on, very much on a $99,000 budget.
No. The ayes have it.
Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I, that,
Thank you. I will try to keep you up on how it goes, if it is useful or not. The Green Mountain Power sent me their bill, and they did have a notice in it that I wanted to make sure you all saw. You might have got it in your own home bills. They're raising their rates.
surprise, surprise.
And it's kind of like a test. It's in this stack of paper, right here, customer notice, along with the bill. Made a copy of them. So it kind of shows you how we use the electricity. Evening from 4 to 8 is the most active time. But it says, as part of a current approved multi-year regulation plan, GMP filed a request for a change of base rates to be reviewed by the Vermont Public Utility Commission for the period of October 1, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. GMP is requesting approval for a 7.35% increase to base rates. Base rates cover projected routine costs to serve customers with safe, reliable power. The proposed changes to base rates this year reflect increases in regional energy markets and regional transmission costs. For an average residential customer using 550 kilowatt hours per month, this is about a $9 more a month. The PUC, and the Department of Public Services will review this request over the coming months, and the DPS providing recommendations to the PUC by August 1st, 2025. So they do have contact for more information. I don't know necessarily.
Here's the bottom line. If we want the lights on, we pay the electric bill.
No choice.
So thank you for, thank you for
the update.
allowing us to understand that, which basically means we have to kick it up $120.
When we do budget.
When we do budget
come
for utilities.
Next month time.
Yeah, it helps us with budgeting, but there's little we can do or say to do that.
About it. Okay. My next bullet point was the Sam's You Save Fuel. Carol had made me write a note to remind you guys about fuel for the winter. And I wasn't sure when we normally purchase our first tank. I believe that we accepted the quote from Sam's You Save Fuel.
We did.
So I'm not sure I need to call them to fill it or how that process works.
Is it automatic? I mean,
It is. I mean, once you accept it, I think they come,
You know, they have us on, we can call to double check, we can just go over to Sam's and check, but usually, they know, like, there's a calendar and it says Fairhaven Free Library gets their oil today.
So we don't need to call them per se?
Well, we will just to make sure, but we, you know, we probably could have asked Carol, but I think Chris signed it and I took it over.
And I think one way, Amy may know when we bought our first.
Right, because she works there.
Have it on. Would you like me to ask her that?
Yeah, we can ask her, because she works for, yeah, I mean, she works there
Works
too.
for them, right? Okay, ask Amy. When-
Last I knew she did.
And this vocal membership in Aspen Edition is the catalog system?
Yeah. I just wanted you to know I renewed it, and that was what they charged. I did have a question.
One?
Well, just one that I think I need your guys' input from, because it might be silly, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Are the bathrooms in the library, for public use in general? Like, can someone only come to the library to use the restroom? Do we have a policy on that? Is there an answer to that question?
I think people do,
Mm-hmm.
from like Dollar General, they just come in, you hear them go downstairs, you just kind of keep an eye on them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they know we have a bathroom and,
I had a caller ask me that question.
oh,
And I also had someone who continuously only used the restroom and was making some of the volunteers nervous. So that's why I'm asking, so that I'm not saying wrong. The caller, I said, yes, you can come in and use the bathroom. They're not necessarily public restrooms, but you can come in and use them. My thinking is we are not a rest stop.
right.
So that I mean,
But we are a public building.
we are a
now.
public building. And I know that we are here in case people need a warm place or a cool place and they can use those spaces. But I wasn't sure if it had been thought of before, or if it even is an issue, or I did speak to the one gentleman who was coming in continuously, and I had said to him that it was a concern for some of our volunteers, and that he's more than welcome to use it. I just wanted him to show his face when he came in, to let us know.
When he goes and when he leaves. Or say, all he has to do is,
So I think that he hasn't come back since I spoke to him. So I feel kind of bad about that one, but I think he left here with the understanding that I wasn't saying no, he couldn't use the bathroom, but that there was some concerns with that. So that was,
and I think it's the same with anybody who uses this particular space. For example, when a professor comes to work with a student, they should let you know when they're here, and they should let you know when they leave. I mean, that's just a common courtesy, so that you don't turn the lights out on them, or they understand that the door locks at this time, or you need to be out by this time. It's just, you know, I mean, that, we do have a policy for the use of this room, but it's just common courtesy to let them know, to let you know that there's somebody down here or not. Because it would scare me if I heard people walking around downstairs and I'm going,
Here,
You know.
there's not?
yeah.
Well, and it also seems just a little sleazy. You know, I mean,
And we don't have cameras, so.
No. And sometimes you need to check the bathroom, because what we have found out that sometimes they leave the water running, and that can run for a long time.
Or they leave the light
If we don't
on,
check
or
it,
they.
the light,
um,
you can hear the fan. So that, but,
And-
yeah.
you know, that might be something to think about in the future, is having a camera down here. You know, there's very inexpensive cameras that can hook up to your phone.
For security purposes, because that was the thing, the mirror is lovely up in that corner, but you cannot see
Right, you
people
can't
coming
see people going
downstairs.
No,
Because of the way
and
it's
it was supposed to
angled.
be adjusted, but no one ever did it. Because that was the whole purpose of it, was to show.
Yep. You know, we might want one down here. I mean, we just have to let people know that they're on Smile, you're on candid camera.
Before they walk, as they're walking into the building,
Right.
there has to be a sign on
Right.
the front door.
Yeah.
Or around the front door saying that.
Are we obligated to let them know?
I imagine we are
Yes.
as a public. And the other flip side of that is, when you tell somebody they're on a camera, their behavior may be different. So it could be beneficial
Yes.
to let people know.
And I guess that's something that we'll have to explore.
In the future.
Hey, you know what? And that's why they have a
As to-
Department of Libraries too. Ask.
Yeah. The question would be, how many cameras do we want, and do we want to record everything?
And I really don't want to do the camera thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I was on candid camera for 17 years at the grade school, you know, and you forget they're there. I mean, they had them in the pharmacy when I was a pharmacist. But it protects you when you get robbed, kind of thing. But other than, or, you know, if there's vandalism, and we've been incredibly fortunate in that respect, that people really respect the library, and I think it's because we respect them. And, so, yeah, you know, if someone needs the restroom, I would not say no, because there's too many places
They
that
can't use
that
it,
they
no.
can't use.
I get that. We were driving home and there was no place to go, and Charlotte had to really go, so I get that. I just didn't want,
And I just wanted to say that when we applied for this credit card, somebody's name had to be on it. So Jenny and I are on it. So I didn't think that, I was going to get a credit card with my name on it. So we have a lockbox now.
thank you.
When I talk about the background check. And so my credit card is in there. And I'm just going to say that if something happens to me or I get off the board, somebody will have to replace me on that. It's just like my name, Judy and I are the ones that are on the bank. And same
And that's
deal.
nice to know who's on.
Yeah, who's on what?
Who's on what, because I belong to an organization, our treasurer died.
Yes.
And we didn't have a
Well,
backup.
if you don't have two, that's why I put Jenny's name on, because she's going to be ordering.
Right.
But that's why we put two names in. The background check information turned out to be huge. I have finally got a code, and Jenny and I are going to work on that this week, getting the code and getting her to the police, and it will take 6 to 8 weeks for them to process the fingerprints. But I had to become the security officer for the Vermont Criminal Justice Information. Now, the only criminal justice information that we're going to have is if we do background checks on people. A background check letter has to be kept for 3 years in a secure place that only I can access. And I am your person, and a year from now, I have to re-up my getting online and reading all of the important information. So once again, something happens to me, you'll have to get a hold of them and change the person. And we got this lockbox because you have to secure all of this criminal justice information. I think it's really for people that are working with people, like people that are doing volunteer work to pay off something that they did wrong, that kind of thing. I
But
don't.
you still need to go through that
I
training.
had to go through the training.
Which took
and,
an
I
hour or
mean,
something.
I did all that stuff and I still didn't have the code. And finally, the lady said, oh, well, I'm not the right person. You better have a different person. So I got a hold of that person and she's finally got us all the stuff. And so now we have a code so we can decide if we're doing background checks for any future volunteers, which is a question that I have. So anyway,
So in doing this, did it cost money to be able to get this certification
no, we're gonna have to pay
for the
for
background?
the background check, but we've already paid that money. So
And that only goes to the police department? The money that you
I
pay.
don't know if it goes to the police department or if it goes to this Vermont Criminal Justice Information Center. I don't know where that money goes. We paid it to the police people. And we paid it months ago. So I started on this in the middle of May. And we've finally gotten the code this week. Well, she actually sent it the week before Jenny went on vacation. And it's taken us some time to get it. But anyway, I can say now that it was interesting. I can also say, if I was doing it again, I think I would have pushed the town to use theirs. But it will be nice to have a code if we want to do this again, and not to have to ask anybody else.
This code is forever? It's not,
It's not,
Every year, as long
that's
as-
our code for the library. That's my understanding, anyway.
I think it's
But you
always
still
our
have to
code, but we
do
still
like a
have to,
refresher course every year.
Every year I'll have to do a refresher course for being the security officer. But if we want somebody else to be background checked, I think we just can use that code and send them in. And I
which
think
is
you'll
what the
find
town does.
that the town has its own code and the school has its own code. And now we have a code. So. And we know somebody up there to call and ask questions.
so in the future, any new volunteers have to be background
I
investigated?
think we probably don't, isn't that the idea that you're getting?
Well, you know what, I think we need to really call the Department of Libraries and ask them about a policy, because to be able to do that, I think we would really have to research a policy on,
Well, we are supposed to have.
we have a policy.
We're supposed to have a policy for how we're taking care of all of these materials. And I asked the woman for a sample policy, but that got lost in my email. I never got that. So maybe I'll call the Department of Libraries and ask them about this.
Yeah, or the Vermont Criminal Justice Information Center.
Yeah, but I've asked them.
Yeah.
All right, that's my
But-
update. That's all my information.
And since you brought up policies, as of July 1st, libraries have addressed two different policies that we have. Right now, I'm not sure what the age is in our policy in terms of having parental permission to take out books or movies or anything. But now it's 12, the age is 12. Once they've reached 12, they don't have to have parental permission. That's a new law concerning libraries, so we'll have to address that. And the other is making sure that in our, I'm trying to think what the library policy is called. I ran it off, I send it out to everybody, but that we have that policy, but the only thing we have to do now is, that says we're in compliance with the First Amendment, so that, you know, in a new, forms, so that if someone wants us to have something in our library, they can fill out a form. But that went into effect July 1st. And I did send out everybody the policy. So if you check your email, and if not, I have it on my computer and I can resend it, but maybe
Is that the one about banned books?
banned books.
Yeah.
It's to prevent that from happening in the state of Vermont. And so, but I mean, our policy is very similar to that. It just doesn't have that phrase in there about the First Amendment. So, you know, they pretty much written the sample policy for us, and all we had to do was put in Fairhaven I think I put in Fairhaven Free Public Library and our address, so. But we might want to consider, you know, having, I don't know if we want to have a special meeting or just set aside, you know, a half an hour for one of these board meetings to really address the policies. I think it's good, because we all need to be refreshed about what policies we have. I mean, we have a hiring policy that Carol didn't know we had, so those kinds of things. So, and everything needs to be updated anyway, and it reminds us all of what our policies are, and it certainly is great for Jenny to have a better understanding about what policies we have. We currently don't have a policy book, but we need to get one. I mean, I have mine in one folder. Some were written and signed by folks who are left this world long ago. So, you know, they're going on 40 or 50-year-old policies, so some of them really need to be updated. Like Lou Velsini and,
Seems like it might be a good idea to have a special meeting and just review the policies when we didn't have all these other things to deal with.
So do we want to do that next month then? Just add on to our monthly
do
meeting?
it to the agenda, just, you know, I mean, PEG TV will be here at 6 o'clock, so I mean, we can go an extra half hour or so at the end of the meeting and just, you know, make sure, just so that, I mean, if everybody, looks for all the policies they have, because when I joined the board, Carol did give me a copy of the policies.
I do not have.
And certainly the Vermont law concerning libraries.
Right,
So it's nice for all of us to have that.
I'll work on those two for the background checks and securing the materials.
And I've got the two, you know, that are, the Department of Libraries has already put them out.
Okay, you've got those two. And then we've got this personnel one. So that would be what
Which we sat down and we went over a couple of different ones, policies, but we need to really get everything out and make sure everything's,
Did you look for some of those too? Some of the policies? Yeah.
Yeah, because I had some, I have to go through them all again. This is 2004, those are just the bylaws.
yeah, those we worked on to upgrade,
Right.
because we want to vote on those
Yeah.
and make it, because that's 20-some years old,
And what policy was that?
that bylaws.
Oh, I
That
thought we did that.
We did.
We did, that's the one we
The
did.
changes we made were in May, and then we signed everything in June.
Okay.
Yes, because you brought them in, remember, we printed them and we signed them, and then.
Yeah.
So we have the bylaws,
This too. This is a manual
right,
for Vermont trustees, but this is 2007.
yeah. It hasn't changed a whole lot, but it has changed. Because I try to update every year. Every June, they put out all the things that have changed in the legislature in terms of, well, everything. But I specifically look for libraries.
Okay, so why don't we set a time for next month after our monthly meeting?
So we'll just add it to
Well,
new,
yeah, we'll
yeah,
just
old
add it.
business.
Would that be like executive session or?
No, that's open meeting, that's open.
Okay.
There aren't too many things you can have in executive session, anything to do with personnel, those kinds of things, legal matters, but everything else is open meeting.
Any new business?
Well, other than, and it's really old business, you know, we didn't get we didn't get that grant.
Right.
So maybe,
I got a note here for myself to call the bricklayers again to see if I can get them down here to,
we can call
hopefully,
these
before
action
the end of
items.
September, they'll come to
So-
at least look.
Well, the hardest part is, especially when you're writing a grant, it's been over a year and a half. You know that grant, you know that it's gonna cost more money.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't even go with the 95, I just went right to the $125,000, because having written grants, I know that,
Because it was 95 to 125.
and that was a year ago, so now, you
You're
know,
looking at it probably 150.
because everything has gone up. So call Blick, and I'll call Vermont Historic Preservation.
About that.
I'm gonna
Civil
talk about
engineer.
the engineer. What other action items did we have?
I'll get in touch with Richard Combs again, see if we're going, when he wants to get together again to try and get things going on that door.
Okay.
Because the last time I talked with him, I said, we want it done before the snow flies.
And how, that was gonna cost under 10,000?
That was gonna cost us, I think, like $5,000, I think he said.
So we've got encumbered money.
Yes. Yeah, and that would be with us trying to reuse the glass and all the hardware. Because the glass is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the glass and there's nothing wrong with the hardware. So if we can just take it off the old door and put it on the new door, that'd be great.
The sticking door. I mean, sometimes in the summer, it's, people think the door's locked.
Yeah.
And I said, you have to, or, you know, it's, you're closed. No, we're not, we're open, wait a minute. It sticks. So, if we could take care of that, that would be great. So,
I think that was it.
yeah. All right, I have that. Jenny, do you want to share under new business, anything?
Like everything.
Well, Paul asked, how's it going?
How's it going? I think it's going okay. I hope you haven't heard anything too bad. I think it's going okay. There's a lot to learn, and we're getting there. Kind of my plan, just so you guys know, is I'm hoping to try to start some of the classes towards certification come the new year, just so I can not be so new to what's going on here, and I can understand our systems a little bit better. That's my general plan. So that's, yeah, that's it. I kind of think I want to try to figure out some things to do more with kids next summer. I feel like a lot of kids came and just kind of hung out, which is really wonderful, but I think there should be more options for them to do at the library. I mean, I know there's books and I can always pull them out because that's what it is about, but if there was other things for them to do along the way, it could keep them entertained and have a good spot.
You got a book club for kids.
Say that again? A book club for kids, yeah. I
Because
think that would be
they're
a-
not reading.
Yeah, a
Well,
great.
yeah, because we always try to offer it, but
Yeah. I only have partially listened to the Friends of the Library meeting up there, but they scheduled out a couple different book clubs and other events for the fall. I also, and these are some of the things I've been thinking about while I'm sitting here, some of those things for the kids, is if we had some used, or I don't think new, I don't think new, like used board games or something for them to play while they're here, just cards or something else to fill their time while they're here. I had a couple kids who just sat like all day. They're on their phones, they were sitting here, just utilizing space, which is fine, but board games and cards and things like that can be used by not just kids.
Well, when you're talking about kids, you're talking older than 6, older
Yeah,
than 10?
so it's some high schoolers,
Teenagers,
like,
high
so that we
school.
don't really, I don't feel
Are they
like this
coming in
summer
to use
that
the
we've
Wi-Fi, or?
served them that well this summer. There's only been, for those middle high school age kids,
Okay,
there's
tweens.
not a lot of, I haven't seen a lot of options for them so far. And those were the ones that would come in and use the computer, sit in the front room, hang. And so if they had a couple other options that I could suggest for them while they're here, those are some of the things that I've noticed. And I don't know traditionally how they've gone along. But even some of the adults that sit in the front room, a pack of cards could be fun, something more than a chessboard, not,
Oh, puzzles.
yeah, a puzzle table. I mean, there's lots of things. So I'm hoping that, I will go to a meeting, it's in August. The regional librarians get together and they talk about stuff they do. And they had I went to the one in May, before I started here, and they talked about some of the stuff they do, inside their libraries at no cost. I'm just like, because I think that if you got some donated things or brought some things in at no cost, there'd be more options for them to play when they're here. But anyways, that's some of the things I'm thinking about with that. But a puzzle table would be super fun. I mean, you could put the puzzles together. But yeah, so hopefully get some more ideas when they have that meeting too. But I hope my plan of waiting till this New Year's okay with you guys, because I think that'll be easier for my life in general, to wait till then. And I've seen a lot of different classes come through on the emails that are available, so I know that they're there.
And the end of isn't that the time that the reports are supposed to be due?
So they've started
At the end?
something a
Annual
little
report.
different. They did say that, an email that said that you can start early, you can start putting information in, and I feel like it's like October time when the reports are due. And it is all this, I went through them with Carol
Okay.
one day, and we looked through all of them. It was not so, like, it's all the stuff it collects in the monthly meeting
That's why
information.
she does it, yeah.
So it's really just to spend the time on the computer to plug them in. So I think he sent that email like a couple days before I left to go out, so, and I honestly spent all day yesterday getting the information for the meeting together today, so I didn't look at it more yesterday, but he did say that, I guess that is a concern with most of the librarians, that it's all due kind of in the holiday time, which is hard, and so he opened it up so that you can add the information sooner, so it's not quite a challenge
Okay.
at the end of the year.
And because they usually always give you extensions,
Mhm.
so they're pretty lenient about that, especially as a new librarian, new to the, to this whole process.
So are you talking about state reports or town?
Yeah.
Town, 'cause the town is November.
Okay, well, town, what does the town need?
I have to
We're
write that up.
responsible
I'll
for
write
that.
it, I don't mind writing it.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
done it so many times.
That's an early deadline.
But in
Go
order, I
town.
have to have all the,
Budget.
okay, have you seen the town report?
I've not looked at, I've helped with West Havens, but I have not looked at Fair
I'll
Havens.
bring one Friday, just so you
Okay.
can see.
And they're
it.
they're upstairs. We have them
Right
upstairs.
on upstairs.
Okay,
So,
okay.
You'll get a letter.
yep,
Yeah, we get them every year that say, town reports are soon due, so. And basically, we talk about what's happening at the library. We put in our budget. So that's why we have to do our budget fairly early, so that even though we don't vote until March, everything has to be in. So,
Because the townspeople approve your budget.
right.
Yes.
Yes, yes. It's not part of the select board budget. There are a lot of different line items that are apart from the select board budget that get voted on, and the library is one of them.
and those all have, well, you're a town clerk, they have to be, those are by petition. The libraries, budget is not by petition. We are a municipal library. The town owns this property.
So but you are a question, a separate question in the
Yes.
ballot.
We
And-
are a
And
separate.
historically, we've been supported.
Okay, so our next meeting is September 3rd, you said?
September 3rd will be the first Wednesday.
So what would you guys like to do? Somebody want to make a motion?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey.